Hello, everyone. I have to say, I've got mad respect for all you people who showed up on time. Love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am going to be sitting here adding people as they're flowing in. Megan will be back momentarily. So just hang tight with me for just a minute. First of all, I'm in a bit of a limbo today. How's everybody else feeling? Like it's spring, but it's winter, but it's cold, but I've got too much stuff on. Is anybody else feeling that? Yeah, okay, good. It's not just me. Like my living room, I need to go start a fire. And in here, I'm burning up. And I have my candles, my winter candles and my spring candles. I don't know which one's to light. All the things. So, are you back yet? Not yet. Let's see, who's here? So many people. Nicola, Ida, Lottie, Victoria, Velvet, Fiona, Melissa, Monique, Kristen, Love, Sarah, Kim. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy you guys are all here. Honestly, I didn't think that an ads masterclass was going to go over that well because I didn't know if artists would even be interested in ads. And you guys are so proving me wrong here. So way to go. Way to be learners. I'm a huge fan of learning. All right, Megan is back. Hi, Megan. You want to say hello? There you go.
Hi, I'm so excited to talk to you guys today.
Megan, we met because her and I are in a mastermind together. So not only do I like run my own mastermind, but I'm in masterminds because I believe in them so much. And you get to meet amazing people like Megan. So she has been actually thinking about like who her niche is going to be moving forward. And she said, I really love working with artists. So I was like, you know what? Come talk to mine. Yeah. I got lovely, lovely people here. All right. So I don't really like when you show up to something and people sit there and talk forever and you have to wait to get to the good stuff.
So let's
start. I know that people are still coming in, but should we just go ahead and jump in?
Yes. I am super grateful.
You want to share your screen or do you want me to?
No, I'll share it.
Okay.
All right, let me make sure I get the right. Is that it?
BTW, I went with winter. There's 3 more days till spring.
Wait, sorry, I have to put it in this other mode first and then share it with you guys. Okay.
Oh, it's okay.
I just found
so
out
if you
presentation. Sorry, what?
No, it's okay. If you want, while we are getting it up and running for you. What is that? I am going to ask you to put in the chat what's the #1 thing you want to take away from today. Even though, we've told you what you're going to be getting, but we would like to hear specifically what is it that you showed up for so that we can try to make sure we really cover that. So if you want to drop that in the chat, go ahead while Megan is getting going.
Yes. Okay. I think I did it.
Change your first slide.
No, I love it. Okay. So can everyone see this? You see this? Yeah.
Yes, I can see it.
I can no longer see the chat, so can you be in charge of that chat for me?
I can do that.
Perfect.
Oh, and I'm going to ask everybody to mute so we don't have a repeat thing going for now.
Okay. So I am Megan. I'm super excited to chat with you guys. I am recovering from a cold. I messaged Jessica on Monday with literally no voice. So, or maybe it was Tuesday, like 0 voice. So, I'm hoping that this is going to go well, but forgive me if it gets really crackly and I drink lots of water. But I wanted to make sure to do this today because I'm super pumped. So just to get started, I want to introduce ourselves. So I'm Megan Cockrell. I'm the owner and CEO of 2M Social. It's a marketing agency. I help my clients get their stuff in front of the right people and increase their audience and sales. Jessica, will you introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Jessica Craddock. If you don't know me, most of you do, but if you don't, I'm still letting people in, sorry. I am the owner of the Artist Market Co. and I teach intuitive and or multi-passionate and or community loving artists how to use practical and energetic strategies to get consistent sales and also life balance, because my people don't need one or the other, they need both. And I regularly help my clients 3 times their income in just a matter of months. So that was me.
Amazing. Love it. I am in South Carolina. Jessica, you're in Colorado?
I'm in Colorado near Durango.
Super fun. All right.
And just to interrupt you real quick, Megan,
Yep.
It looks like the majority of people are trying to figure out if ads make sense for them and if they can get results based on what their budget might be.
Awesome. So just to speak to that really quickly, the format of this presentation is going to be Jessica is brilliant at working with artists. And so she's going to go through some ways, just a few. This is not an extensive list, but we're going to start off with some ideas of how, like some events that you can do, some events or just a piece of information you can put out in the world to bring people in. Then I'm going to dive into some stuff about ads and then how to do the events that we talked about with ads. And then we'll go into questions. And I know I have a slide in here, but everyone's question is about budget. I get asked that the most. Every sales call I'm on, everybody wants to know about budget. And to be honest, that's a hard question to answer because it's different for every person. And one of the things as we're going through this that I'd like you to think about is your lifetime customer value. So, you know, if one of your pieces of art costs $100, then your, lifetime customer value, if they only ever buy one piece of art, is $100. If your piece of art is $10,000 and people usually buy 2 pieces, it's $20,000. Whatever it is, think for you what that is, and then you have to come up with a number that you're okay putting into ads to get one of those leads. So really quick example I was going to give later, but this might help you think through it. The business coaches Jessica and I work with, I'm running some ads for them, and their leads are costing anywhere from $25 to $50. But if they get someone on a call, their lifetime customer value is about $55,000. So like, I don't care if I spend $100 getting a lead in because I'm making so much. So it's just kind of a mindset shift that you have to go through to figure out how much someone typically spends with you and then how much you're willing to kind of get them in the door with you. So just keep that in mind as we go through, but let's get started. And first up is Jessica. Oh, wait, I did the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this presenter mode. I clicked the wrong button. Here we go.
Okay, so I did not tell you we were going to talk about this, Megan. I kind of threw this in here, but I feel like this is really an important intro into why or how you would use ads. So if you follow me at all, you've probably heard me say that there are 3 stages to getting your art buyer from knowing you exist to that sale. And the first one is visibility. Ads are one way to get more eyeballs on your art. So there's honestly, I could go through 100 different ways to get more eyeballs on your art, but ads is different. It's special for certain reasons. Like if you are someone who, maybe thinks that galleries would be a good idea, but because they can help get more people on you, but you don't really want to give them that split, but you're willing to pay something, like that might be one reason that you might want to use ads. Or maybe if you just really don't have that much time and you have some higher priced items, that might be worth it to you to be running ads. Megan, I might have you throw in a couple more reasons why someone might want to run ads later on or now if you want, but I'm just going to go through these real quick. And then the middle piece is that nurturing. A lot of times people will say something like, I did X and it didn't work. My opinion, my knowledge, my truth on that is that they probably knew you existed, they found out about you, but it just ended there. So if you don't bring them through all of these stages, they're not as likely to buy. Some people will come in and just say, "Ooh, I like that," click, buy. But those are much less likely. So I'm going to give you an example really quick. I actually just got an email this morning from someone who said, you know, using your process of bringing them through this, I was able to have a show where I sold 6 pieces for 1,350 euros each. But only one of them, I didn't know anybody, or I didn't know anything about, like we hadn't talked. So she was able to basically 6 times her sales by bringing them through all of these stages. And then sales is the very end, where either you're asking if they're interested in getting more information and having that conversation, or if they say, I'm interested, and then you go into that conversation. Clear as mud. Everybody understands so far? Let's see if I can. I like feedback. I don't like to just talk.
Can I say one thing, Jessica?
Yeah.
They do studies all the time and the number changes. So I've heard numbers between 7 and 17, but it typically takes, let's even just go with 10, someone 10 times to see you and your stuff before they're ready to buy. So does that mean that they come to your studio and look at something and then they see an ad and then they have a conversation with you? There has to be a good bit of touch points and visibility for them to be ready to purchase. And I know, like, as an entrepreneur myself, I'm like, what? That stings. But think about how you as a consumer react, right? Like, typically when an ad comes up in your feed, most times you don't immediately buy unless it's something very, like, under $10, right? Like pretty cheap. So typically you have to see that a few times and those ads keep coming back up, or now you're seeing their posts because you've liked their account or their page. You start to see them more and more, and you know, like, and trust them. And then that's when the sale, like for me as a consumer, probably you as a consumer, is when you feel comfortable going to buy. So just keep that in mind too.
And I'll also add to that, you are right, but I will add to that, that the ads that we are illustrating for you guys today are not just a touch point. They're actually a touch point to have more touch points. So they're kind of multi-purpose ads here. Okay, so another part of this is there are warm, we're going to call them leads because I don't know what else to call them. There are warm leads and there are cold leads. So if they were just to see one ad one time, that would be a cold lead. If they were someone who maybe already kind of knew you existed and you retargeted an ad for them, and then you invited them to something, that's a warm lead. So we're going to be teaching you how to do warm leads today, not cold, because cold takes a lot longer to get through that buying cycle than warm. So we want to really optimize here, especially if we're going to be putting money in the game, right? So think about how long typically it takes people to buy from you. This is a concept I learned from our coach, actually. And so if they are coming, let's say, for example, you're on Pinterest and you get a lot of website traffic from Pinterest. Those are going to be colder buyers. They're going to have to sign up for your email list. They're going to have to go through all these emails with you. That's going to take a lot longer for them to buy than if you actually are getting to know them, you're inviting them to things, you're interacting with each other. So it might be a difference between 3 years and 3 months. And I know this because I've experienced this myself. And if you're just doing the content, like, content is great. It has a lot of purposes to it, but used alone, it takes a long time for someone to want to buy from you. And so by doing what me and Megan are going to be teaching you today, you're going to be able to shorten that time span. And the other thing I want you to hear is, remember these 3 stages. In order to stay ahead of the game, if it's going to take you 3 months for someone to buy from you, and now all your people are buying, you're behind. because you haven't been bringing in new people. So you always want to have new people coming in at all times. So you can always be spitting out buyers on the other side. Does that make sense? I'm looking. I see some yeses, some thumbs up. Okay, cool. Megan, would you go to the next screen, please? Okay, so we talked about the difference between having a warm lead and a cold lead. If we are going to be running ads, I want you to be running ads to get those warm leads. So having something to invite people to, because when you can have that face-to-face interaction, even if it's on Zoom, that's going to be so much stronger than just them seeing a piece of content from you. So in my group, excuse me, I talk about invitations a lot. So things like group invitations. What I mean by a group invitation is something that you can do monthly, bi-monthly, that as you are noticing people around you, you can say, hey, I got this cool thing. You should come to it. And then when they come, you get that face-to-face time where you are leading them through that nurture cycle much faster. Or it could be something like a personal invitation. Hey, you said you were interested. Do you want to come check out my studio? I can show you around. We can have some coffee. Again, it could be online, offline. It doesn't matter. We're going to go through some examples of what that might look like here in just a minute. And the other thing I wanted to say is that you can find your favorite thing and put it on repeat, especially if you are always bringing in new people. So like one of my girls had a backyard art show and she invited 4 people and she sold 3 pieces of art. Okay, that's pretty darn good. 3 out of 4. But sometimes she's like, well, what if I, don't have someone to invite next month? How am I going to host that again? Even though I know it worked really well. Ads could be one way that she could do that, is running some local ads to come bring new eyeballs in. 3 or 4 people, 3 or 4 people, 3 or 4 people. That's consistent income. Okay. Any questions? I'm going to check the chat real quick. Kate says I'm about to launch.
Jessica,
yes.
I have a
Who's that?
question.
I think that's Velvet. Is that Velvet?
Yeah.
Oh, Velvet.
Okay, I don't understand the last thing that you just said.
I was saying if you find an event that works well for you and that you enjoy putting on, you don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. You can just have that one event that you're constantly bringing new eyeballs to. And that's something that Megan's going to be talking about with the ads, is how to do that. Does that answer your question?
Well, you were talking about somebody being able to have an event and sell and have a
the backyard art show, is that what you're asking about?
Huh?
I'm sorry, can you tell me what your question is?
You were talking about somebody having a successful selling event.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't catch what that was, what they were doing.
Oh, I just said that she had like 3 or 4 neighbors over to her yard, and she set up some art, and she had some little tables for kids, and they had drinks, and they just hung out. And after, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna mute Helen. And then after that, it just had such a good vibe and impact that people were like, I really liked that art. I think I would like that. I would like to have that in my house.
Okay, so there were neighbors and she invited over. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, no problem. Let's see. Kate said, I've put a lot of work into a landing page and newsletters, and ads is the last thing that I'd like to add in my strategy. Awesome. Nicholas said, increase my knowledge and make this work for me. Okay, so everybody's still answering that question from above. What was the thing that you were wanting to get out of this class? If you have any questions about what we're talking about as I'm talking, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Okay, Megan, you want to go to the next slide for me, please? Okay, so I was just talking about this one. I got a little bit ahead of myself, but that's one example of an event that you could run ads to. So for that example, you would want to run really specifically local ads with people who are interested in things that your art is about. Sometimes you can use this strategy to collaborate with other people like Megan and I are doing. So what is something that you have in common? Maybe you have a friend who writes poetry and their poems really have the same kind of feeling or message that your art has, and you want to paint their poem. So you could do a live interpretation of that piece, have people join and discuss and advertise with their audience too, which is really great because that you've already got things in common with each of your audiences, and having them join together is powerful for both of you. Maybe you're going to be doing an art fair and you could run ads for people to come find you in your booth. You could say, come get a free sticker and introduce yourself, whatever you want to do. Megan, could you turn it, please? Moving stuff around my screen. You could have an open to the public studio tour. So you could say, come over, have some food and drinks, and do that every month or every other month. You could say, I really want to cater to art consultants. That's the business I want to have moving forward. So you can run ads to art consultants and say, come book a time with me. I'll show you my catalog of work and we can discuss how it could work for you. You could have a meet the artist, a live video or Zoom where they can come ask questions. You can talk about your artistic process, tell your story. We all know how powerful story is, right? Yes. You could do some, yeah.
Monique just said you can't see images. Can you guys put in the chat if you can see the screen? It says event ideas. There's a pink line running through the middle. Okay.
Looks like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why Monique can't. That's weird. So you could also do something where you get lots of artists together and you can have your own online art gala. This was Megan's idea. Isn't this a great idea? Where you can sell VIP spots. They get some champagne delivered to their door. You have breakout rooms. You have like maybe a 2 or 3 hour Friday night. Everybody can get dressed up and hang out on Zoom, and so can show their pieces, and so can show their pieces, and maybe someone does a song and dance, whatever, make it fun. You could do, a couple of you have said, I'm interested in how to run ads for a collection release, or maybe even a studio sale where you are talking about each piece and letting people engage and ask questions and say, well, how big is that? How would that look on my wall? You could even do something like, hey, if you come to this live, you get entered into a drawing, or if you buy on the event, you get free shipping. You could partner with a restaurant and say, hey, let's do a Friday night event and you can serve your oysters and I'll show all my oyster paintings and we'll invite all the people who love oysters. You can get really fun and creative with this stuff. I'm giving you some big general ideas, but think about what your art is about, whether it's the actual subject matter, if you paint an actual subject, or if it's a feeling, or if it's a political message, or if it's about well-being. You can really dive into what those things are and create events around those. And that's going to make it not just a thing to come to, but something that people can connect with. And that's going to make it a lot more powerful for you. Just checking the chat.
We had someone say, Jessica, Amy said, a friend of mine created an annual event where she brought in 4 other artists and offered nibbles and drinks for the weekend. It was extremely lucrative. I love that collaboration, and you get to tap into other people's audiences. That's huge.
Yeah, so in that case, you're not only running ads to get people to come, because you're not all on your own in that instance, which is why I put a couple of examples in here about collaborations. It's something I really love to teach, because it's not just you anymore. It's you and their whole audience and their whole audience, and you're running ads to it. It can be a great way to get a lot more eyes on you.
I
Anything
think it'd
else
be
on
fun if
Masterclass?
everyone dropped one of these ideas that Jessica threw out, or maybe a new one that you have that you could kind of think through, drop it in the chat. So you can think through it as we're talking about ads and how that particular event could work with the ads that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it's
Let us know
something
what
that you're interested in doing. Drop in the chat. And Megan, I think that's the end of my slides.
Great. All right, I'm going to get
I'll let you take it.
started. All right, so first up, before we dive right into ads, there's a couple things that I wanted to mention. Number one, organic content. I don't want you guys to feel tied. That's one of the things we talked about in planning for this. We don't want you to feel tied like content is a black hole. I don't want you to be in a place where you just feel like you're a content creating machine for social, because as artists, like, I know that your creativity needs to go to creating your art. But I would not be serving you well if I didn't tell you that having consistent social media actually really helps you. Again, think about how you consume things online. If you find a new person that you like, you see something pop up, you see an ad that you like, you see an event, 9 times out of 10, at least for me, I go and check out their social media. So you don't want your Facebook or Instagram to be like, the last time I posted was in 2019, right? Like, you want it to be relevant. Again, don't spend 6 hours a week creating content, but just post some stuff. And I'm going to go through, when we get to some of the ad stuff, I'm going to give you some really fun ideas that I've seen work really well with artists that I think you guys can do really simply and easy and not have to spend time creating. The other thing to point out here is that I worked with an art client. I did her ads. And she did spend a lot of time on her Facebook doing a lot of organic stuff, but it was very natural. Like, when she was in her studio, she was posting a picture of what she was doing, or just going live and people were chatting with her. She grew her social media like pretty significantly, and her ad costs, hands down, the cheapest ads I've ever seen, because Facebook really rewards you. The Facebook and Instagram algorithm, go together, and they reward you for having solid social proof along with ads. So just keep that in mind. So when we send out our emails after today, we're going to send you this lead magnet that I have. It's my favorite. It's a huge asset to my client's business and what I do for ads. And so I want to make sure I share this with you. If you don't already know who your ideal art buyer is, that's what I'd like you to spend some time doing. Even if you know who your ideal art buyer is, after this workshop, I would love for you to sit down and do this exercise. We'll send you the PDF, but basically what you're going to do is we're going to utilize the Facebook and Instagram ads manager to find where your people are online. Even if you never run an ad, you can still go in and find where these people are and use that information to your benefit in your business. So just sit down with a piece of paper or a Google document and write down every single thing you can think about them, even if you think it's small. So what are their ages? Are they a specific gender? Are they married or unmarried? Where do they shop? What kinds of jobs do they have? Literally anything you can think of. What kind of problems? I'll tell you, one of my friends runs ads for a lady. Her business is decluttering, and she got so specific with her ads, like who their ideal client was, that her ads were what's the word I'm trying to say? Crazy cheap. They were crazy cheap, because she was literally saying, okay, I want women between 45 and 65 who knit and have a dog. And her ads were cheap. So even though like she wasn't putting in decluttering, she was using these other things that really tied all of her people together, and their ads were amazing. So anything you can think of is not crazy, put it down. Then the next thing you're going to do is create your audience. You're going to go into ads manager, just create a campaign for fun. We're not going to actually hit run here. When you get to the audience section, you're going to start filling in the gender, age, location. And then there's a little box that says detail targeting. So if you know that, I'm going to use running. If you're trying to target runners, then you put in like running, and then it'll have a suggestion little tab up here, click the suggestion box, and it'll give you people who also like running, like these things. So it'll say running, walking, CrossFit, nutrition, whatever it is. So the more you can get specific about your people, the more the Facebook ads manager, that algorithm there, when you start typing things in, will give you suggestions. I write
I ask
everything.
a question?
Sure.
Yeah, I recently did some ads, and where you know, it did ask about specific subjects that I wanted to include. It did not ask for people. There was no way to specify specific people.
Were you boosting a post, or were you an ads manager? Because it's
I was
two
an
different
ads
things.
manager, and I
Okay.
created a campaign and an ad set, and then 3 ads in there.
Yeah, so usually in the audience section, it'll say, like, under the audience box, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can fill in. And
Yeah.
there's the box that says detailed targeting is where you would put this stuff. When you get the, when we send out the emails after this, you'll see the PDF. I like walk through it with screenshots so you can see it, for like, it'll make more sense when you can see it.
Okay, but it didn't let me put in specific people.
That's interesting. I'm not
ads.
entirely sure. I'd have to be able to look at it to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
So what you're going to do here is write down the ones that you think, like, yes, this aligns with my ideal audience. And then go around and just see what different combinations you can make to get different topics out. Typically, I spend about 2 hours doing this for my clients because I really want to make sure we're nailing that person that we think is going to be their best client. Okay, here's a little bonus.
Sorry, Megan. Can I
No,
say
you're good.
something real quick?
Yep.
On Instagram, on my videos, I have a training called Find 100 Ideal Art Buyers in 10 Days on Instagram. If you go to the first video, that would also supplement the thing that Megan is going to send out. So we can send those together, but I have it specifically for artists, kind of how to do that.
Nice. Yes, that'll be perfect. Use those together for sure. The other thing you can do is go to Facebook and find a page your ideal client might like. Then like that page. When you click like, there's a little scroll bar will pop up and it says other pages you might like, and it's related pages to that original page. So you can start scrolling through there and saying, oh, okay, like this is a big page. Typically the pages or accounts need to be over 100,000 for you to be able to actually target them online. But even if you can't target them, what you can do is find these pages that are larger than yours, and you can see what kind of content those people are creating. If you have the same ideal client, no copying, not suggesting copying. Y'all are artists, I know you don't do that, but not copying what they're doing, but seeing some trends in your niche, the trends that your ideal buyer likes, and you can start replicating that. Yes, Jessica.
So there's a couple comments. One says, how many people should my target group include in the ads manager? Somebody told me it should be minimum 100,000 people.
So it's a little different if you're doing local versus worldwide. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But if it's local, like the number is what it is. A lot of times for local, I don't actually, when we're running ads, target, if we're doing like pet portraits, I'm not going to target people who like PetSmart, because if it's local, it's going to take, the 100,000 people around us and then shrink it. And ideally, we need a larger audience for Facebook to be able to figure out. The algorithm's really smart, but it needs enough people to know this is your ideal person to get stuff out to them, see who's responding, and then keep replicating that result for you. If it is worldwide, right now, because of all the iOS changes, 5 to 10 million. So local's different, worldwide about 5 to 10 million is pretty decent.
And then there's one more question, and we'll hold the rest till the end, I think, so
yeah,
you can flow better. But if you add too many criteria for hobbies, does it get too broad and diluted? Like, are you better to have 2 categories instead?
Yes, great question. So yes, so what I do when I'm researching is pull out all of those. I'll go back to the runner because that was on my brain. which is funny, I'm not a runner. Running, nutrition, CrossFit, health and wellness, yoga. So what I do is write all those down on my piece of paper and then go through and sort them. So maybe I would do like running and I don't know, stretching, and make an audience of that. And then another one was like nutrition, wellness, something else, and another one with CrossFit and training. So you're breaking it down into smaller bite-sized pieces to make your audience match that 5 to 10 million. So yes, you are correct. If you put all of those in there, it just gives Facebook too much. So we want to hone it in. But as you're making those lists, just start sorting them out into what makes like sense in your brain, because that's what I do.
It sounds kind of like hashtag sets. Like you're doing different hashtag sets for different kinds of posts.
Yep. And then the great thing about ads, which we don't get into a ton today, but is testing. Like you've got to spend time, which is why I do this. So why I spend so much time doing this for clients is because you've got to find those different audiences, and maybe the running and stretching one doesn't work, but the CrossFit and the wellness one, like ding, 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 everybody wants that because they're trying to supplement whatever they're doing with CrossFit to be a runner, right? Like you have to really test and see which of these audiences is going to perform best. All right. So now we're going to get into the really fun ads part. So yeah, if you guys will just pop your comments in the chat, then we will get to all of those at the end, because I think we have a good chunk of time to do some questions, right, Jessica? Perfect. Okay. So ads. So we're going to go through the different types of ads. So this is the real technical part of the presentation, but I want you to be able to see that there's different types of ads that we're going to use for different types of events or different pieces of content that we're trying to get eyeballs to. Once we go through all of these, I'm going to bring it back to the first part of the presentation where we were talking about the events that could be great for you guys. And we're going to walk through some examples of, if you're doing this, what kind of ad should you be running? Okay, so the first up is video view ads. So we run video view ads, and that is a specific type of an ad. So it actually, like when you go to set up an ad, it says video view. And what Facebook does, the algorithm is incredibly smart. Just to be clear, if I haven't said this, Facebook and Instagram, if I say Facebook ads, that's what I'm used to calling it, but it's also Instagram ads. You click automatic placements and it sends it to Facebook and Instagram, and I think it's like 18 placements between the two platforms they can go. So all the same. But the Facebook algorithm is incredibly smart. So if you say, hey, Facebook, find me people that want to watch videos, that's what they're going to do. If you say, hey, Facebook, find me people who want to buy something, that's what they're going to do. So we've got to be really specific with the type of ad that we're running, because it's going to do what you're asking it to do. So a video view ad is an ad that we put out. It's obviously a video, and we're trying to get people to view this video. This is really great for building an audience of people who don't already know you. It is building your know, like, and trust value, which is extremely important for building your audience and then getting leads and then being able to nurture them. So you're typically sending this to cold traffic, which is what we talked about, and finding your right people. You're sending it to those. Really, any video works here. You can do lives. This is why I say I wanted to give you guys some really fun content ideas. Before I moved to strictly doing ads and funnels, I was doing content creation for people. So here's some ideas. So as artists, you're in your studio, probably a good bit. So set up your phone on a tripod or prop it up, whatever you want to do, and go live on Facebook and Instagram and just create. So while you're painting or sculpting or whatever it is that you're creating, you're just doing your thing. People are notified that you're on, they pop on, talk to them, answer questions while you're creating. People love that. Like, I think a lot of times we get into this, everything has to be perfect mentality and want to create perfect videos, but really think about who you resonate with. It's probably people who are natural and organic and really relatable. So that's what you want to be to your potential ideal buyers. Just set up your camera, let it roll, and connect with them. Once you create that live on your Instagram page or your Facebook or Instagram account or Facebook page, you can then run that as an ad. Now, typically, if it's really long, people are probably not going to stop and watch the whole thing, but they might stop and watch a little bit of what you're doing and get a feel for who you are. So any kind of content that you have, if you create something new, do a quick video of you showing what it is and talking about the story behind it. Maybe you have a promo coming up and maybe you're great at creating videos. I'm not the best at creating like professional promo videos, but maybe you are, or you could hire someone to create a really fun video, just showing around your studio or what you're creating. One of my other ones that is my absolute favorite is if you're painting or creating something, again, set up your phone and just work, and then you upload that into an app and speed it up. It's like rabbit speed. So maybe it took you 4 hours or however long, I don't know. But when you speed it up, somebody can watch from the beginning to the end in 30 seconds or a minute. And those are so mesmerizing. And to be honest, the video view ads, the longer somebody watches their video, the warmer they're likely to be, and the better that is in the algorithm. You can also do reel type videos. So like reels on Instagram or TikTok, those sort of videos are doing really well right now. And again, organic is better. So like you don't have to be all professional and polished. Just go with it. It's great. People want to see you. Another one is a studio tour, like walk people around and do a studio tour, maybe even every couple of weeks, because you probably have new stuff. Any kind of video content you can do, video is best. So I would try this, and then you can use any of these for video views. And typically these are really, really cheap. Now, again, you're not really asking anyone to convert here. You are just getting them to watch something and warm them up. Because then any of these things that we do, where we're building this warm audience, we can go back later and retarget them. So we can say, anyone who watched this video, I want to send them this ad to come to my event, or this ad to purchase my art. So this is a great way to build your audience. Drop in the chat if you have a really cool video idea, because I love sharing some different things that people are doing or ideas. Okay, engagement ads. This is another great one to build your audience. These are also pretty cheap, which is great. One of my favorite things as a content creator and growing organically is using engaging questions to get people engaging and talking. So what you can do is go to your Facebook page and just write a question. So let's say, for example, because my examples later in this, or maybe you like you paint pet portraits. I should not have chosen 3 Ps. You paint pet portraits. So you could ask a really fun, engaging question like, tell me the name of your favorite pet, or what's a favorite memory of your pet? Something that's like related to your niche that people want to answer. So typically not something like, tell me your goals and biggest dreams in life, not that, but something that's easy and fun that people want to answer. Make that a post, and then you can run that as an ad. What that's going to do is going to get that question in front of people who don't know you yet, because it's going to go to cold traffic. And then you are going to go in when you see the post, when you get notifications in your accounts, you see like on Facebook notifications, and it says like, so many people like this. You can hover over that number and then click the like number with the line in it. When you click it, it'll show you everyone who's liked it. You can go over and invite them to like your page. So this is different on Instagram, right? You can't do that on Instagram, but on Facebook, you can invite them to like your page. And now if they end up liking your page, when you post, they're going to see it. So it's a way to help boost your Facebook page, your Instagram account, because you're also going to start getting likes over there. And then will eventually increase your engagement with your account, because they're going to see you more and more. On Instagram, you can go over and start interacting with people who have liked the post or commented. It's just, again, another way to start having these different touch points, not one and done, but different touch points as we're going along with these ideal buyers. Another important thing to say here is if you ask a question on any post, but specifically we're going to put money behind it, and someone answers, you want to go back and respond to them. Make sure you respond to them within that day if you can, and try to ask them a question back. So if I say to you, what's your favorite kind of cake? You say to me, chocolate. I'm not like, cool, thumbs up. I'm like, oh my gosh, Jessica, chocolate cake is amazing. There's so many different kinds. Do you like German chocolate cake or Black Forest cake? Have you ever had a mocha stout cake? Those are amazing. Tell me, which one's your favorite? Like something like that. Ask them questions back and forth. Facebook specifically really rewards the engagement. So this is huge to kind of get you boosted and moving along. And especially with ads, these typically end up being like 10 cents or less in engagement. So even for a few dollars a day, you can really start boosting your social accounts here. Hear me say, please do not buy likes. That's not what I'm saying. Don't go get people who are not related to your ideal buyers to like, but people who are your ideal buyers, this is what we want to do with them. Okay, moving on to what you guys probably are thinking when you hear the word ads. So these are conversion ads. They can be a couple different things. What we are asking the algorithm here to do is convert. So we want them to go from one thing to another. So for leads, so a lead generating ad would be cold traffic, someone who doesn't know you or hasn't really engaged with you much. We're going to send them an ad. We're going to put something in front of them of value and ask for something in return. If it's a lead, typically that's something free, right? So, hey, maybe you're teaching art, or maybe, I don't know what it is. You've got something, but you want to put something in front of them for free. They give you their email address. You give them something in return, and now they're a lead. So now they're on your email list. You're going to start emailing them. You're going to really grow your know, like, and trust value. This is your way to now, as you're emailing them, is to stand out as an expert and really start to gain their trust. And they're going to start to see your emails, your content, and hopefully become a buyer down the road. Jessica is amazing at emails. I've been reading hers recently. So if you're on her list, which if you're on this webinar, you probably are, check out what she's doing, because she's doing some really great stuff over there. Sales generating conversion ads. So this is where you take, it can be cold, it could be warm, but you take an audience and you say, hey, I have this painting, I have this sculpture, I have whatever you have, would you like to purchase it? They click, they buy, you get money. So they're converting from just being out there to a customer. This is, I think, what some people are asking at the beginning. So your return on ad spend is going to be different for each product that you have. So all of you guys, it's going to be different. You really need to look at your lifetime customer value. So if someone's purchasing a piece of art that's $500, how much are you willing to spend to get that sale? These tend to be the more expensive types of ads because you're asking more from a person. You are saying, hey, will you give me your money in exchange for this? One of the things I want to go back up and I didn't say about lead generating is this could also be if you're doing events. It doesn't have to be a free piece of information, but you're trying to get them to sign up for an event. So they're going from just someone out in your town to, hey, now there's someone in your town that is coming to your backyard next Friday for your art show. So it can be that too. It doesn't have to be a physical something that you're giving, but a sign up. Yes. So anyways, these tend to be more expensive than the video view and the engagement just because you're asking more from the person. Okay. I did not have this in here and I put it in last minute, and let me tell you why. I just discovered these most amazing things. All the ad courses I've ever talked about like several years ago were like, lead generation ads on Facebook suck, don't use them. So I never use them. I had someone like 3 weeks ago maybe say, I've been using them, they're amazing, just try them. So I started these ads. You guys, they're the best things I've ever seen in my life. So I actually recommend that you do this if you're going to do some kind of lead, like a freebie type. You're trying to get their email, you're trying to give them something for free, you're trying to get them to sign up. I recommend these for like your events, because what this is, with all the iOS changes, if you've been in any kind of social media world for the past year, you have probably heard things changed a lot. And so Facebook is trying to find ways, I think, to kind of supplement the changes and the things that have been made harder. Hear me say, not impossible, but harder. So we've had to shift. So one of the things I think that they're doing is sending a lot of traffic to these lead generation ads on Facebook. For example, I started them on my lead magnet first, which is that thing you guys are going to get because you're here that finds your right people. I was doing a conversion ad like we just talked about, where it takes you, you click on the ad, it takes you to a landing page. It says, hey, get this guide. They give me their email, sends them to a thank you page, and the guide comes to them. I was doing those. It was costing me in between $5 and $6 a lead, which It's pretty standard for a lead magnet in the business world. That's fine. I decided to try these lead generation ads. I used the same copy, same image, same audience. I changed nothing except literally that instead of going to my landing page, they're filling out the form on Facebook. My ads dropped to $2 a lead. Same thing. It was crazy. Our business coaches that Jessica and I work with, I've been running their ads, and I told you for something they're doing, they're getting these leads for like $25 to $30 for this one that we're doing on Facebook and Instagram. I switched them over to lead generation ads. They got the same amount on the first day, same amount of leads with this ad as they had for the entire previous week. So they got 25 ads or leads in one day for like $4. So it's a huge difference. So whatever this is right now, I'm excited it's working. The only kind of trickier part about this is you have to have a way to get the leads from Facebook to your email account. So you can manually download it, but I recommend going to Zapier, whatever you want to call it. It's super simple. I am not really techie. I got the ads tech, but like, don't put me on another platform and try to get me to do stuff. But I set up Zapier all by myself and it worked. So it was really easy and it's free for the amount that I was doing. So
Megan, one thing that I talk with my clients about is like using the social media platforms babies, whatever that is at the moment. And it sounds like this is one of those babies where it's like guaranteed to work better because they really want to promote it. So take advantage. I did not know about this till just now. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I just got really excited. So I hope you guys were excited. I've been doing this for a while and I'm like super impressed with these. So very fun. Okay, retargeting ads. This is the good stuff. We've been talking about all this other stuff that we're going to do. We're going to be posting content on our social platforms, and we're going to be running some really fun like video view engagement ads, even some lead ads, right? And what we do is we're going to build this warm audience around us. Now, people, like I said earlier, again, I don't know the number that it is today, it changes, but in between 7 and 17 times it takes for them to see your stuff before they're ready to commit. So retargeting ads are really powerful because you can say, hey, here are these people who have already interacted with me. I'm going to take this group of people and send an ad to them. So they're not cold. They don't not know who you are. They know who you are and hopefully have been engaging. So you can use these for your social media. So like your Facebook page followers, your Instagram account followers, your email list, people who visit your website, all of that. And you can send them a specific ad. Typically, these are conversion ads. So you're saying, hey, I want you to come over here and come to my event, you know, my gala that's $200 for the night or whatever. So they know you, they trust you, they like your stuff. They're going to be more likely to come to your gala. Oops. Sorry, I hit the button on my screen and not the. There we go. Next. Okay. Here's the $1 million question. What should my ad budget be? I cannot tell you that because it really depends on what you're running and actually literally what your budget is. Like if you say, I can literally only spend $1,000 a month or $300 a month, then like that's your budget. Like no one is asking you here to go take out loans to run ads. That's not what we're saying. But I do like want you to think about what you could actually spend. But then also, this is where you should be thinking back to what we said before. What is your lifetime customer value? So if your lifetime customer value is $10,000, then it's probably reasonable to spend a couple $100s to get them in front of your stuff so that they start purchasing. If your lifetime customer value is $100, then you might want to think, you know, somewhere closer to $5 or $10. You really kind of have to make that decision for yourself. I'd mentioned this back before, but the video view ads, the engagement ads, and the traffic ones, were those in there? I didn't put those in there. Traffic is in there. Sorry. I got really excited about the lead generator. Forgot those somewhere. Traffic ads are basically just saying, hey, come to this website. So you're not asking them to convert. You're just saying, hey, come check out my website or come, like I'm having an event. You're just sending them to that page. Facebook, again, is really good at doing what you ask it to do. So if you're trying to get someone to sign up for an event, I wouldn't really send them on a traffic ad just to get to your website because Facebook is going to find people that like to click over and look at landing pages, but not necessarily click over and buy. So Traffic ads are good to grow a warm audience, not necessarily good to convert them. So the traffic, the video view and engagement ads tend to be the cheapest because you're not asking them to do anything. I mean, engaging like or leave a comment, not a huge deal. But conversion ads and retargeting are typically going to be more expensive because you're asking them to do something. So just keep that in mind. Typically you want to put more budget towards conversion and retargeting ads.
I heard a rule of thumb once upon a time that you should repurpose 10% of your sales into a marketing budget. I don't know if you would agree with that or not, but just throwing it out there as a thought.
Okay, so you totally broke up for me. I don't know if you did for anyone else. What did you say?
Sorry,
Mine
I was
says
saying,
unstable. Oh no.
I was saying once upon a time I heard a coach I had say to repurpose 10% of your sales into a marketing budget, which I guess could mean ads or something else, but
Yeah,
that could be a rule that you use.
yeah, I like that. It's giving you somewhere to start for sure. Okay. Now we're going to bring it back to what Jessica talked about in the beginning. So ads for events. So local events, this is going to be your in-person events. They're actually coming to wherever you're asking them to. So what you can do is when you go into your audience, instead of putting all the detailed targeting, you're going to put in, like, let's say you live in Houston, Texas. You put in Houston, Texas, and it lets you basically draw a circle around it. You like drop a pen and you tell it how many miles you want to go. So you just figure out like what's reasonable for people to come to you. Are they going to drive 30 minutes? Will they drive an hour and a half? Like it depends on your event. So that's something you have to think through. But local events, you're going to just kind of draw a ring. If you're in a big place, like somewhere up towards like New York City or Atlanta, where there's like millions of people, and you drop a pin and you say, this is my target area, and it's over 2 million, then you would want to go ahead and put in some of that detailed targeting. So not only is it this area, but I want people who like fine art. I want people who are into sculpting. I want people who have whatever it is, you can start to narrow it down a little bit. You don't want to go too low because you only have so many people to work with, and Facebook does need a good chunk to figure out who's responding to you, because they'll watch if you put in these details, who in this audience is actually responding, and they'll find similar people within those parameters that you gave them and send the ad to them as well. So you don't want to make it so small that you've got 10,000 people because they're not going to be able to figure it out. But you want to make sure if it's big enough, you can put in some of those details. Now, I do understand that that puts you with some local stuff. If you're not able to put in the detailed targeting, then it makes it a little harder. Like maybe you're hitting people that don't necessarily love art or want to come, but that's just kind of how it is for local businesses. You could also test, like testing is huge in ads. So maybe you test, again, I would test with maybe some of those traffic ads, engagement ads, or a video view ad that are cheaper. Like test to figure out who your audience is. So you say, okay, I know I have this event coming up in 2 months. I'm going to start running some ads just to see who my audience is. If I put in the 2 million with no targeting, do they respond better or worse than if I put in the 2 million and then put in some of the detail and they shrink? See which one responds better, run them side by side, same copy, same graphic, and just with that one tweak in audience, and then you can really see, even if you're doing, a video view ad for $3 a day per each audience, you can really get an idea for who is going to respond better. Online events. So if this is something that basically anyone in the world could come to, your targeting is going to be a little different. So for your online event, so thinking back to like if you were going to do the online gala or I love the one Jessica talked about, if you have a piece of art and someone who does poetry can come in and interpret it with word, something like that. Think about your end result and what you are trying to accomplish. If you're trying to actually like sell something, if you're in the US, can you ship to Australia? If not, then don't include Australia. So really figure out where you can target, put in those locations, and then use the method we talked about at the beginning, and you're going to get that fun guide in the email, but how to find those details in your audience to really narrow that down. Because of the iOS changes, a bigger audience now is great. You could really do 5, 10, 25 million. I have some audiences with clients that are up to 80 million, and that sounds huge. But I won't get into all the crazy nitty gritty, but because of the changes, we're not able to find as many people as we once were. So really expanding that audience and making it big enough is better these days. So if you heard something a while ago, having a smaller audience, now it needs to be a little bit bigger because of iOS changes. All right. Jessica, are there any questions that make sense to answer now before I dive into real specific examples?
Helen asked, if you say testing, does it mean running them two ads simultaneously and see which one performs better, which I feel like you said yes to.
Yes.
And then Jessica asked, if the traffic ads are targeting people who just browse, is it worth targeting them? Are you hoping to get a few people who might buy?
So typically what I found is if you are running traffic ads, that's really to grow an audience because you can retarget them. I have found that typically they don't buy. But what they do is they come and they peruse around and look through your site. If you don't have Google Analytics set up, we're going to talk in a little bit about how that is important. Was it already in here? Did I pass it? I don't know. I think I'm maybe on the last slide. But anyways, you want to make sure you have Google Analytics set up because that Facebook tracking right now is not as good as it once was. And so I supplement with Google Analytics. And one of the really cool things is I can see I've run traffic ads for people and I can see that, okay, like in Google Analytics, it shows me they came in through this ad, they landed on this page, and then it shows me their behavior and all the pages they went through before they clicked off. And that's really cool because it shows you that like that was a true warm person. They actually cared what I was doing. They didn't just come to this page. They actually looked around. So there's some really cool information and retargeting, but typically 9 times out of 10, they're not going to purchase.
Gotcha. There are lots of really great questions in here, but I think let's just hold them for a minute.
Okay. Let me next. Oh, I had the same background for these two. I thought I'd already done this one. All right, sorry. So for traffic ads, maybe this is where I had it and I confused myself. Sorry, y'all. Typically it's a cold audience. I think we've talked a good bit about it now. But for any ad, and I put here specifically for traffic ads, but really any ad, you want to do something that's catchy. The trends shift back and forth. Like I've been, when it was like, hey, it needs to be something super different. And then it switched to super organic, like looks like it's already in your feed. But now what I'm really seeing is like something that really stands out because people are just like mindlessly scrolling. So you want your ad to be like, whoa, like the ad that worked best for this, Jessica created the graphic. Which is amazing. It was a yellow background with words on it and a moving arrow. So people loved that ad because it was different. It didn't look like somebody, you know, going through the park with their kids or playing with their dog. Like it was very different. So think through how you can make some things different. Conversion ads. So these are going to be really good for, like we talked about a little bit earlier, if you have an event you want them to sign up for. So you're saying you could run these for cold or warm. You can start running them and say, hey, I want you to come to this event. They give you their email, maybe payment if it's a paid event, and then you send them the details. This could be for if you have a lead magnet, like a free something or another, if you're more on the teaching side of art. You want to give them something to get to know your teaching style or who you are. This would be a conversion ad. You can also do conversion ads for your sales. So you can say, you know, I'm having a sale right now on my artwork. It's all 10% off or whatever your sale is. You can run conversion ads for those sales. So that means you're going to track that purchase. Traffic ads, you could still, again, like we talked about, you could still run those ads to the events or to the sales, but you're probably not going to get a high enough conversion. I really just like to use those more for brand awareness. Jessica, did I make that all clear?
Clear for me. I think I don't see any questions being asked about that at the moment. So I think yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to dive into the specific example. So maybe it kind of makes it, I'm a visual learner. So I wanted to lay this out for you guys. So the next few slides, I made this up. We're going to pretend that I'm a pet portrait artist. I cannot paint to save my life, so this is not actually me. But I've decided that from what we've talked about today, I'm going to do a live studio tour. I want people to come to my studio. I'm going to do food and drinks and have people and show them around and show my art, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what I want to start doing, I think Jessica says at the beginning, but once you start running ads, I would almost never stop. Yes, you can turn them on and off, but Facebook really appreciates and rewards those who are constantly running ads. Now, that does not mean you need to spend thousands of dollars a month. You can literally just do some of these cheaper ads, the engagement ads and the video view ads, traffic ads. You can do these for a few dollars a day and actually really see some momentum and some people growing around you. And then when you're ready for an event, you can pop in some of those event ads or whatever thing you're going to be running a specific ad to for a specific point in time.
And Megan, you said if you're doing those other ads all the time, then it's easier to retarget those people that you've already reached, right?
Yep, exactly. So let me give you an example because I think this will really help. It's not this one, but I worked with an art guy. He sketches, and he had a membership, so it's a little bit different. But what happened was he hired me. We came on. We did this launch. We got people into his membership. And then once the launch was over, he kept me on, and we just started running conversion ads to get people onto his email list. So we're doing this for a while, for like a few months, and then we go, unfortunately, we had to start running ads right when all the iOS stuff happened and like shit hit the fan, the ceiling, whatever, and it was not good for a couple months. It was not good for a couple months last year. But what happened was we had been spending this time growing his email list. And then I was bringing them in with those conversion ads. And we were also doing some of these engagement ads. We were doing video view ads. We were building this audience around him. And then he was doing a great job on his side of running, sending emails a couple of times a week. So he was doing a great job of nurturing. When we went to do the second launch, when everything had gone crazy, we put out ads and it was bad. Again, it's not now, but last year there was a time it was very bad. So what we did was turned his ads off, and he just went to his email list, because guess what? He owns his email list, and it is free for him to market to his email list. And because we had spent so much time growing his audience, when he sent out an email to sell, he had, I think overnight, like 183 people sign up for his paid challenge just from his email list, because we had been growing it. So it's super important to always run these ads to keep bringing in people around you. And then sometimes, like maybe you don't have the budget one month, that's fine. You don't have to run an ad for the event, because guess what? You have been building your audience, so you can just sell to them on your social media accounts and in your emails. So think a little bit like that way as well. All right, so I'm a pet portrait artist. I'm going to be running an engagement ad and a video view ad. I'm local, planning to do most things local, so I'm going to keep these ads local as well. So I'm going to do an engagement ad that says, tell me the name of the best pet you ever had. I'm going to go in, invite those people to like my Facebook page. I'm going to interact with them on Instagram. I'm going to answer all the comments. Then I'm also going to be running a video view ad. So I'm going to get a video of me painting someone's dog, and I'm going to speed it up really fast. And people are just going to watch it and like it. I can also invite them to like the page if they comment, respond to them as well. So what we're doing here, these together are building that warm and engaged audience that we've been talking about. Okay, so now it's time for my event. I'm doing my live studio tour. So I'm going to do a conversion ad. I've created my landing page, my thank you page, or I'm just going to do that lead gen ad on Facebook, either one of those, but I've got all that set up. I'm going to run it to the cold but local people. And I'm going to say, hey, sign up for my studio tour. I can also take and run an ad just to the people who have grown in my audience and the people from my email list and from my social media accounts. I can run ads just to them, maybe even tweak the language because now they know me a little bit better, right? Run those ads to them as well. And typically, if you have a good warm audience, then your cost per conversion, so what it costs to get that lead, is going to be cheaper. So again, that's the benefit of running those retargeting ads, that once they know you, they're likely to convert quicker, which makes the cost per conversion cheaper.
And
So
I just
these-
wanted to say also, this is, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a really great way if you're saying, you know, people aren't seeing the thing that I'm putting out advertising my event. This is a good way to make sure that they do see it by retargeting. So, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So again, I would always have something running. You can pick and choose which one. I'm just trying to give you some examples. But I would probably always have some sort of video view ad running. That's going to grow our warm. And if you sometimes do local and sometimes do worldwide, then I would run these always running ones worldwide, because when it's time to do the local, you can retarget and put in that circle around your area, and it won't matter if you've grown an audience worldwide, because you'll also be hitting those people inside your circle. So we talked about a bunch of videos before, so just pick one that you think is really fun that people engage with, and you can also test it, because again, for $3 a day, put up a couple videos and see which one does best. You know, you can do $5, $10 a day, you're going to get more traffic, but you know, if you're always having to remind people what your budget is, you don't have to go crazy with your budget here. Also, you can run a traffic one here. This is just brand awareness. Do something interesting, maybe about you or about your art, like telling your story, trying to get people to come over to your site and look around, to your online gallery. And again, this is just more people are aware of you. And if you have a way of something free to get them onto your email list, then that's another great way to, again, have them in your email so you can nurture and love them through emails. Okay, super similar, but now we're going to meet the artist for the pet portrait artist event. It's online, so anyone worldwide can come. I'm basically going to do the same thing, but instead of just running them local, because now I know, hey, for sure I'm reaching people worldwide, I'm going to do tell me your favorite memory with your pet. For my engagement ad, I'm going to do a really cool video of me painting. My video view ad, I'm growing that warm, engaged audience. And then when it gets time for my meet the artist, I'm gonna I can run both of these. So the warm one, retargeting people that we've already reached before, and even a cold one for a sign up for meet the artist event. And again, I would probably do those lead generating ads here if you can, like the ones on Facebook. So this is just going to equal more people signed up for the event. Okay, so overall, what I want you to hear is I want you to be constantly running ads to get leads and or brand awareness. Again, if you don't have some big event coming up or a thing that you're really trying to get people to, still just run something in the background. It primes your account and it really sets you and your business up for success. Once you have something that you want more eyes on, you have your event, you have your sale going on, retarget, use what you've already done, this audience you've grown, and send ads to them. Building your audience is key to bringing in aligned art buyers consistently. And again, like Jessica talked about at the very beginning, this is step one. One of the reasons I'm diving into helping people with their funnels all around is because I am very aware that ads is one part of a big strategy, and you can't just do ads and be like, oh, I'm done. Like, you've got to do ads plus the other touch points to nurture them and have everything else working correctly to make it all work, right? So this is magic, and it's also not magic. Like, there's other stuff that goes into it as well. So just remember that you know, you want, once you bring them into your email list, please nurture them, please care for them, please, you know, invite them to things, reach out to chat with them one-on-one, go meet them for coffee if they're local, whatever it is. Make sure that you are nurturing those people, because that's going to be the biggest distinguisher for you, and just having people seeing your stuff and people buying your stuff. So
Can I just make a point really quick?
Yeah.
You were talking about nurturing those people. Has anyone ever signed up for something and gotten a personal message back saying, oh, I'm so glad you're signed up? I like to do this every now and then whenever, you know, I just have some extra time. I'll go in and like see who's doing stuff and just send little voice messages, because I think it's a really nice way to grow that genuine connection with people, and people respond really well to it. They're like, Thank you so much for thinking of me. It's really amazing that, yes, Victoria, I sent you one. But I personally, I don't do it out of okay, and now I need to, like, I don't think about it. Now I need to go nurture this person. But like, if you are running a business where you want to have real connections with real people, you have to go make real connections with real people. It's not a marketing strategy, even though it is. If you break it down how things work, you could call it a marketing strategy, but it's really not. It's just being a real, genuine human being. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Okay, so Jessica and I have been putting our heads together. We have been so excited about this masterclass. I think she said in one of her emails, we've been voxering back and forth all week. Super pumped about this. So you guys are really our ideal clients. Especially Jessica, like I know she said at the beginning, but she really helps artists just like you go to the next level or the next 3 levels. Like she said, tripled the income. So we put our heads together and we would like to offer you guys something. If you enjoyed this class, we would love to invite you to something special we're doing in a couple of weeks. We are going to be doing Art Buyers on Repeat workshop, March 30th through 31st from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. So convert that to your time zone. We're going to be doing that.
Both days, 2 days.
For both days. So on the 30th and the 31st, you show up for both days. So if you sign up for the workshop, you come to both days. So this is going to help you get buyers on repeat through an automation of an ads funnel. We want you to learn to create an ad, to set up a landing page, and be able to communicate with your ideal buyers so that you can spend time doing what you love, which is relaxing and enjoying creating your art while your buyers are flowing in. Or insert whatever it is there that really lights you up. But I know I've heard from Jessica that a lot of people she works with, like, gets hung up on the business marketing side, and we don't want that for you. We want this to be easy and to flow. We want you to be able to be in your studio doing what you love.
And also, one of the things that my clients generally have in common is that they love, like they genuinely love making connections with people, but maybe they're not as good at going out and finding the people. This is kind of that missing component.
Right. Yep. We want to help you to find those people easily. So the 2 days are jam-packed. I'm going to tell you about them. Day 1, we're going to be doing some ad graphic training, some ad copy training. And then in between each of those, we're going to kind of let you work. It'll be on Zoom like this. So you just sit and work. We'll all mute ourselves. If you have a question, you pop on and ask us. And then once we have all kind of worked on our stuff together, we're going to come back all together. And if you'd like, you get to come on and share what you've done. And then you'll get feedback from Jessica and I. You're going to get videos on how to properly set up your ad account. I know I've mentioned a couple times, and I'm sure you've heard iOS changes. If you have not been running ads recently, there were a lot of changes, a lot of new things that have to be done now, like verifying your website. The pixels always had to be there if you want to run successful ads, but the pixel, verifying your website, setting up standard events, custom conversions, and then putting those in aggregate event measurement. I used to call that aggravated event measurement because it's awful. So anyways, we're going to show you exactly how to do all of that.
She's going to show you how to do all of that.
I'm
That
going to
just
show
made my
you
head
that.
explode.
Jessica's helping with the creative part here. But we're going to show you how to get all of that set up for your ad account. We're also going to do some landing page training on that day. We're going to give you some homework. It'll be a little bit like school, but it's going to be fun homework. That way you'll get set up for day 2. When we come back the next day, we're going to go over the landing pages that we've created. Again, if you want to come on, talk with Jessica and I, show us what you've done. We can give you some feedback. And then we're going to get into the really fun part. I'm going to walk you through ads training. So I've given you guys some strategy today. I've taught you a little bit about the ads, but I didn't have time to go into and here's how you actually set this up. Once I give you an overall training, we're going to have all of our pieces in place to start an ad. or ads plural, whatever you've created over the past day and a half, then I'll invite you all to get into your ad account. You'll see my screen, and I'm going to walk through how to set up an ad with you while you're doing it. So we're going to go at a pace that everyone can set up their ad. So not only are you getting an expert walking you through it, but you're also going to get to do it in real time. I don't know about you, but for me, like actually doing it myself takes it to the next level. It helps it stick in my brain a little better. And there will be recordings, so you will get to go back and watch this again. So the other thing you will get from there is KPI training. So KPI is key performance indicators. These are the numbers that are super important for ads. So if if these numbers are this, your ad is performing well. If it's not, these numbers tell us what we need to do next. I'm going to give you a really simple kind of flow chart and train you on how to not just set up your ads, but figure out if they're working and how to optimize them going forward. So those are the practical parts of the days, but I just want you to sit for a moment, see how it feels to you, knowing that out there's someone who wants to buy your art every single day. Every single month, there are people who are ready and willing to purchase art from you. So what we're going to do in this 2-day workshop, there's going to be no more wishing, wanting, hoping. Like, this is a practical, tactical, get shit done day. Like 2 days, I guess. You are going to walk away with an ads funnel. Think about how many times you have sat down at your computer to try to do something like this on your own. Like, it's a lot. I can tell you the first time I set up an ad account, I had taken like a 30-hour course. I had done all the things. It took me 6 hours to set up my first ad. And it was lots of tears. I don't want that for you at all. That is not what it should be. Now with the knowledge that I've gotten, I can set up an ad from start to finish in 15, 20 minutes. So I'm going to teach you that. I want to make this easy for you. I don't want you to have to struggle through this anymore. So what you get to do is you just get to show up, and Jessica and I are going to guide you and support you through whatever you're creating, whatever event or whatever it is, whatever. We will help you decide which things that we've talked about might work for you, or maybe it's something different, but we will help customize that to you and your business. That way you can walk away with an ad funnel set up and ready, so that whenever you're ready to hit go, you can start your ads, buyers are going to start coming in. And then you're going to start seeing this audience grow and buyers coming in on repeat for you. Oops, turn to the next page. So just to go through kind of a breakdown of what all this looks like. So you're going to get a strategy and planning session. Typically, I charge $9.97 for that. An ads training session, if I'm going to teach someone ads, it's $1,600. Ad account optimization, which is all that iOS, those crazy words, that aggregated event measurement, really getting your business account and ad account set up well, $247. A landing page session is $597. So we're going to help you create your landing page for your event or whatever you're going to be running your ad to. And then one-on-one, like intensive coaching with Jessica and I charge $997, usually for just an hour for that. So all of that together comes out to $4,435. But you guys, we like you, and we're not going to charge you that. So we're going to charge just $19.97 for that. Because you're here today, because I know, like Jessica said at the beginning, I really want to shift my business to work with artists, because I love the creativity, and the art clients that I've had have been my favorite. We want to offer you guys a fast action bonus. So if you sign up within 48 hours, you can save your spot for just $9.97 for those 2 full days. And also you're going to get a 30-minute call with Jessica. How many years have you been doing this? Like several years.
6.
6? So you're going to get someone who works with artists for 6 years. You can get on a call with her. You can ask her anything. Nothing is too big or too small to ask. And she's going to give you like laser pointed coaching for that 30 minutes. So, trying to get to the next page, you guys.
Actually, I added this in, Megan. I didn't tell you about this. So
go ahead.
You can ask me anything that you want, but I thought that the thing that would be the most useful for you inside of this container would be for me to help you map out what your invitations look like, so that when you come to this workshop with us, you've got your idea ready to go and we can just start creating the ads and the landing page for it. If you've already got a great idea and you're like, Jessica, I got this, I want to talk about who my ideal art buyer is, or what does my whole strategy look like, we can talk about whatever you want, but that is one option for us to talk about in your extra session with me.
Yes.
I just want to throw out one more thing, that I have never run ads before. This is my first time that I've ever run ads, was with Megan for this workshop. And we had, how many people did I say? About 150 signups. Some of you were from my email list, but a lot of you were from the ads. So I was very, very pleased with how this worked, getting you to come to an event, me getting to see your faces, get to know you. This is, really amazing. And at the end, we're going to have some Q&A time so I can actually get to see each and every one of you. But I'm pleased. Just throwing that out there.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great time. And Jessica has 2 links, I believe, that she's going to drop in the chat. So we have a page. If you just want to go and sign up, like, we would be delighted to have you. For the next 48 hours, you get that call with Jessica and the $9.97. And then there's another link. If you're like, this is amazing, I have some questions, I would love to get on a call with you. So if you sign up to get on a call with me within the next 48 hours, we'll reserve that price for you, even if we can't meet till later, because it's my spring break next week with my kids, so I'm leaving tomorrow. So there's some time to sign up tomorrow for questions, and then not next week, but the next Monday and Tuesday, there's some spots there as well. So we just wanted to put this out there because we appreciate you guys being here and really wanted to give you something if you're ready to go to the next level. Do you have anything else to add on that, Jessica, before we go to questions?
No, I think you did a really good job covering it. Thank you, Megan. I know that we are just about out of time, but we promised some Q&A. So let's go through the questions that we already have in the chat, and then probably go ahead and wrap up, because it's getting to be pretty long.
Here, I'm opening my window because it's hot.
Let's see, can I unshare your screen? I don't think I can.
Here, I'll hit stop share. Hold on.
There we go.
Oh, it's so fun to see you guys. I couldn't see you.
Yes. Okay, so questions. I'm just going to start at the top. We already answered, how much budget do you need to get results? Are LinkedIn ads for artists suitable as well, or are they too expensive?
So I think it depends. I'm trying to think. I feel like LinkedIn is a lot more professional. But if you do these activities and you know that your ideal art buyer is on LinkedIn, then go there. I think, if you're trying to reach like the professional, like if your person is a very professional person, then that's a great place to go. I've never run LinkedIn ads, but what I do know is that it just tends to be pretty expensive. So that would be something you have to test out.
Let's see. I'm going to ask a follow-up question on that one. Is that a whole different, that's not in the same ads manager? That's a whole different platform, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we will not be covering LinkedIn ads, I'm sorry. Unless, Megan, you want to backtrack on that, but I don't think so.
No, I don't know how to run them.
We answered that. What would you say your audience should be for nationwide? I don't do international shipping at the moment.
Still several million.
2 million is kind of the level.
Yeah, I would really try to go closer to in between 5 and 10 if you can.
Okay. What do you think about the quick and easy button boost post? That's a great question.
Don't do it. It's not bad. People do have success with that. They've gotten better. I've never personally boosted, but I do know that inside Ads Manager, well, it's kind of two separate things. If you boost a post that and it runs as an ad, it'll never show in your Ads Manager. Like, it's not actually the same thing. So if you're over in Ads Manager, you have a lot more control and a lot more data. And so in the long run, it's going to give you more to help you like move forward and learning about your ideal audience.
Here's another one. And I think you answered this, but just to clarify, does Facebook automatically push your ads to people who are already engaging with your content?
Yes. So if the people who are already engaging with your content, if you're running a cold ad to people who run and your person interacting with your page also runs, then yes, they could see that as well. The only way if they wouldn't would be if you excluded them. But there's no guarantee that they'll see it either. A better way to guarantee that they would see it would be to do a retargeting.
Yeah, awesome. Is there a benefit for using ads for video views or engagement if you are seeing success in those areas with organic reach on social? For example, if you're now seeing new leads come in daily from Reels, would ads bring any additional benefit?
Yes, if you have a good organic presence and people are enjoying your stuff, then if you put it out to more people, then the likelihood of a lot more people liking that post or video is going to get higher. So I think it's definitely a positive way to go there.
So even though, let me reflect what I'm hearing. If you have a post that's doing really well and Instagram or Facebook's like, hey, boost this post, don't boost it, but turn it into an ad and put it in your ads manager and run it that way.
And you can actually go and use an existing post instead of, it'll say like create ad or use existing post. And if you click use existing post, they'll let you pull up Facebook or Instagram and scroll through and say, I want to run that one as an ad.
Awesome. So that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Victoria asked about a strategy plan, but I feel like you covered that in your slides. We answered that. Victoria asked, how much do you charge, Megan, to set up ads for your clients for artists? I think you have to do 4 months with you for $2,000 plus the ad cost. So honestly, if you are interested in doing something like this with someone professional who can help you set it up, $997 is a pretty amazing offer. And just so you know, all the money's going to Megan. I'm just helping out. I really want to support her for being here for this workshop because she's amazing. And I mean, I hired her to help me with this workshop. So yes, anyway, when you say testing, it means you run 2 ads simultaneously and see which one performs better. Can you answer that? Yes, you did, right?
I'm sorry, I was
yes,
answering
Helen.
a question in the chat. What did you say?
It's okay. The answer is yes. When you run ads simultaneously, that when you're testing, that just means you run them simultaneously and see which one does better.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify because I thought after you asked that last question, I want to make sure. So when I was talking about testing the audiences, you would have to run 2 different ad sets. So the ad set is the level where you set your audience. So if you're trying to test the audience, you would run an ad set with this ad and then another ad set with a different audience, but the same ad. So does that make sense?
Makes sense, Helen? Yeah. It's a little overwhelming why I haven't gone into this in the past, but maybe I need to pay someone to do this for me. Sarah says same here. Is there anything else? Oh, when you say worldwide, can we exclude countries like India, Africa, etc., where we don't expect our target market?
100%. So you're actually going to choose the countries that you want. So typically for most of my clients that worldwide, they could target anywhere in the world. And meaning like you're not inviting someone from Australia to come to South Carolina for an event. Then I do the big 5 countries for marketing, which are the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand. Recently, I've been cutting out Australia and New Zealand because of the time change, time difference, but those are typically what I target. So you choose the ones you want instead of hitting worldwide and then excluding.
Yeah. All my Australia and New Zealand people emailed me and said, hey, can you send me a replay?
Yep.
What is the minimum budget per day for the ads we need to run in order to have this constant client flow you mentioned? If my lifetime customer value is around $1,000.
So again, that depends on what you're comfortable with and what your end goal is. So, I mean, I would say if you're just trying to build the warm audience around you, I mean, I would say for $5 to $10 a day, you could choose whether you want to do video, engagement, traffic. I wouldn't do all of them. I would do, if you were going to do $10 a day, I might would do 5 for video and 5 for engagement or 5 for traffic. So split up 5 and 5. And then whenever you're whenever you're ready to run an ad for an event, then I would bump that up. I would say, I mean, it depends. Like, is your event paid? Like, is it a $200 gala or is it a free backyard? Come look at my stuff. My personal guess is and again, I don't know. So we won't know until you try it. But my guess is if you're running like some sort of event, you're probably going to be somewhere between $10 and $20, $30 to get someone to sign up and come locally if it's free. If it's paid, then you can kind of offset the cost of them coming, because my guess is that if it's a $200 gala, the point would be for them to purchase something. So you're kind of almost using that $200 not as a money maker, but that $200 as marketing. So it's a really hard question. I'm sorry, I know that's not the best answer, but it depends on so many things, and it's a lot of testing.
If they signed up for the workshop, could you help them with their specific budget for a specific example?
Yes.
Would that help?
Yeah, so we can talk through some of that, which is why I'm excited, and maybe I'm thinking what we could do as well, because I won't be creating ads, y'all will, while y'all are working. If someone has a question like that, we could hop into a breakout room and kind of work through that specifically, or the coaching time at the end, walk through that for you so everyone else can hear as well.
Gotcha. Kristen said, you missed for the baby. How's the baby? Is the coffee chat link right to decide if it's right for me? Yes. The answer is yes. So if you're not sure if you want to join or not, book a coffee chat with Megan. To clarify, Jess says, I'm not sure I'm interested in ads for more engagement or followers right now. I'm actually a little bit overwhelmed at the moment with leads, but do those forms of ad have other benefits? For example, is it worth it to run a local ad that might support a local event? Or should someone in this position stick to the other types of ads?
I think I understand, Jess. So you're asking if like there's like a local event and you're going to be at the farmer's market, like running.
Jess is in my group, so I can speak for her a little bit.
Okay.
She has a studio downtown that she is wanting to invite people to for an event alongside another event that's happening in that same area. So would it be worth it for her to run ads for that? I think is what she's asking.
To an established event that's not hers, but she's going to be participating in?
More or less, yes. So she would be running ads. Hey, come to my studio while you are visiting this other art fair that's going on. Because they're in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I think Jesse'd want to do some kind of incentive. I mean, you could just run a traffic ad to that, like, or even an engagement, like, hey, I'll be here, come check out my booth. Or you could do, hey, come to my booth and mention you saw this ad and say make up some word or something, some coupon code, and they get 10% off. Like, you could do something like that as well. So I think that could be really great, especially if you have, because you said you have overwhelmed with leads. So I assume you have a bunch of people in your audience. So that would be really cool to run a retargeting ad too.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of reels and growing that way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Um,
Yes, video view ads are great. You're welcome.
Okay. Is there any other questions not from girls in my group at the moment? Because we're gonna have a little Q&A afterwards. You can just
Y'all can unmute too, if that's easier.
Yeah, feel free. No? I think everyone's like, if you offer other products and services other than art, should I set up different ads for different products?
Helen.
I can also speak for Helen. So
Okay.
she also does crystal healing and feng shui and like lots of other things like that that are related to her art. Would it make sense to run for that?
Yes, 100%. I would run. I assume, if not, I'm suggesting that you have different accounts for those. Unless somehow, is it all related? Like, is your art also?
It's
in
all
that realm?
related. It's all the same account.
Okay. Yes, I definitely think you could, and you can use these same, like these are the same ads that people use for all different products. So you could use the same type of strategy. But if you're doing some like healing, like I would imagine like a freebie for you, like a lead magnet to get people in on your list. And then running, if you're doing like a workshop like this, yeah, 100%. And you can use the same types of strategy. Healing products.
You can unmute, Helen. That's what you're trying to do.
So like one ad instead of many different ads.
No, you can do many different ads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just use the same strategy, but different ads.
Correct. I would do different campaigns. So if you're doing a campaign for your art, so a campaign is like the head part, like where you tell Facebook what you want it to do. I would do different campaigns. So I would do a campaign for your art, a campaign for your healing. So it would be different ads because they're different things. I wouldn't put it all under one umbrella because then they're going to be competing within that ad set, and that wouldn't work well.
So how we talked about earlier about trying different audiences, kind of like the hashtags, like, so for your crystal healing, you might go into that and find people for that, even though they're all coming back to you. That's how I'm understanding. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap up. If you are sticking around, if you're in my group, just re-sign in about 5 minutes. We can all go use the bathroom. We'll have about 20 minutes for Q&A, and then we'll go about our day. Sound good?
Y'all are welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, follow me on 2M Social. Jess will send out all the links.
Thank you, Megan. It's 11:11. Make a wish.
Ooh, love it. Thanks, you guys.
Bye, ladies.